Welcome to the Sleepy Sailor, where the noise fades and wonder begins to whisper. Let your thoughts float as we drift through stories made of stars and stillness. You begin not with a sound, but with silence. The kind of silence that isn't empty, but full, brimming with possibility, soft and infinite, stretching beyond thought, beyond breath. A darkness without edges, a stillness without time, before the stars, before atoms. Before the shape of anything had taken hold, you float there, weightless, not quite awake, not quite asleep, somewhere between being and becoming, okay? And in this sacred quiet, the universe stirs. There is no up or down, no distance, no separation. Everything is the same as everything else. The cosmos is a whisper in waiting. Imagine this, not as blackness, but as velvet, thick, soundless, and complete. You press your thoughts gently into it, and they vanish like footprints in soft snow. Every idea you try to hold melts back into the still. This is not a moment, not yet. It is the absence of moments, the absence of seconds and beginnings. Here, time has not yet uncurled from its coil. And then, slowly, delicately, the first difference arrives. A shimmer, a flicker of not quite nothing. The faintest breath of something. It doesn't explode. It expands. From a single point, smaller than a thought, the universe begins to unfold itself. Not in a flash, but in a gentle, silent swelling. Space stretches. Time wakes, and you are carried with it. You are not apart from this, you are this. Your atoms do not yet exist, but their story is already being written in the stretching of this fabric. The birth of the cosmos is not an explosion. It is an opening, okay? A petal turning toward light that doesn't exist yet. Whisper to itself. A promise that something will come. In the beginning, there is only energy, pure and radiant, but without form. It is not heat as you know it. It is not light. It is a vibration so profound that it carries within it every note of the universe's future music. There are no galaxies, no stars, no matter. It's just an endless unfolding of space itself, stretching like a breath held too long, finally released. And still, it expands. As it expands, it cools, just slightly. A delicate balancing act begins too fast, and nothing will form. Too slow, and it will collapse. But here, in this moment of cosmic precision, the unfolding is just right. Now, imagine yourself as part of this breath, expanding, cooling, opening. Your mind, still gentle and quiet, becomes the shape of the early cosmos. Time has begun, but it moves without urgency. In these first instants, so brief, they barely belong to time, particles begin to form. Quarks, gluons, neutrinos, things, with names you don't need to remember. What matters is their feeling, that sense of firstness, of creation from stillness. The particles dance not chaotically, but with a rhythm so subtle it could put you to sleep. The universe is young, but already it hums. Everywhere there is light, not the kind you see, but a sea of energy that glows with possibility. The universe is glowing itself into existence. Soon, the first stable particles emerge. Protons, electrons, neutrons, simple ingredients, like notes waiting to become a song. And still, it expands. Each second that passes brings new possibilities. The forces of nature begin to take form. Gravity, strong nuclear, weak nuclear, electromagnetic. Each one quietly claiming its role. Gravity becomes the soft architect, pulling, gathering, shaping. The strong force hugs particles tightly together. The weak force whispers decay and change. Electromagnetism shimmers through it all. The promise of light to come. You are still there, floating, watching, dreaming. Your body is not yet built. Your thoughts not yet named, but your presence is real, because this story is already writing you into it. Right. After 3 minutes, just 3, the young universe has cooled enough for the first nuclei to form. Tiny clusters of protons and neutrons cling together, becoming the earliest hints of atoms. Helium, mostly, a little hydrogen, the simplest things. Still, it is too hot for light to escape. The universe glows, but you cannot see. It is a warmth without radiance. 8. Promise waiting for release. This epoch is soft, quiet, expanding, cooling, slowly preparing, and you float through it all. No need to rush, no need to understand. Feel the hush of creation all around you, the gentle breath of beginnings. Hundreds of thousands of years pass, time now free to flow, drifts like mist. The universe becomes cooler, calmer. The once blinding plasma softens, and finally, light breaks free. Photons escape. Cosmos becomes transparent. This is the moment we still see. Today, the cosmic microwave background, a faint afterglow of the beginning. It is not a loud light. It is soft, like a candle flickering in deep space. You drift beside it, bathed in its ancient warmth. The first light of all, the darkness is no longer complete. It carries memory now. The universe remembers being born, and it remembers you. From here, the story will branch outward. Clouds of gas will gather. Stars will ignite. But for now, let it be enough to float in this early light, to know that everything that comes next was already inside this silence. The stars are coming, but not just yet. You drift, still weightless, as space continues to stretch. Tiny fluctuations, barely more than a sigh in the fabric of space, begin to ripple outward. These ripples are small, almost nothing, but they will become everything, the fingerprints of what will be. From these uneven whispers, gravity begins to gather, imperceptibly at first, then with purpose. Where the universe is slightly denser, gravity pulls a little harder, drawing matter inward, slowly, patiently, lovingly. These are the earliest seeds of galaxies, not yet visible, not yet lit, but destined to be homes for stars, planets, and eventually for someone like you. But for now, they are clouds, dark, silent, waiting. Hydrogen and helium swirl together like dancers unsure of their first step. But gravity is a soft teacher. It draws them in, nudging them closer, tighter, warmer. And then, the first star is born. It doesn't shout. It glows, softly at first, like breath warming on glass, then brighter, bolder, burning from the inside out. First light of a star, not from the outside, but from within, radiates across the darkness. Not just light, but structure. The universe is learning to build. In the core of that star, something magical begins to happen. Under immense pressure and heat, hydrogen atoms begin to fuse, joining together, becoming helium, releasing light and energy with every fusion. This is how stars shine. They take simplicity, hydrogen, and turn it into brilliance. Each flicker of light is a whisper of fusion, a glow born from pressure, from closeness, from atoms learning to merge. You float near this first fire, not to be burned, but to observe, to feel its warmth, not just on your skin, but deep in your quiet thoughts. This star is not like our sun. It is bigger, faster, more dramatic. It lives quickly and dies young. But in its brief life, it crafts new elements: carbon, oxygen, nitrogen, iron, things you will one day be made of. And when it dies, it does not disappear. It goes out in beauty. A supernova, a stellar farewell. Its light is not destruction, but release, flinging the heavy elements it created into space, scattering seeds for future worlds. From that death, new clouds form, new stars gather, and in their wake, planets begin to swirl into being. You are not just watching this. You are following it, carried by the current of creation, guided by gravity's hand. Billions of years pass. The universe unfolds like a flower, petal by petal, galaxy by galaxy, each one a swirl of light and dust spinning gently in the vastness. Some galaxies collide. Some drift apart, but always they grow. And always you are there, moving without motion, present without effort, feeling without needing to hold. You pass through nebulae, great clouds of gas painted with color. You hear no sound, but you feel their rhythm, their slow, patient pulse. These clouds are nurseries for stars, places where light is born again and again. And in one quiet corner of one ordinary galaxy, something familiar begins to form. A small star, a gentle star, not the first, not the brightest, but special in its steadiness. Round it, debris dances, dust and rocks swirl. Gravity pulls pieces together, small at first, then larger. Planets, one of them, blue, soft, wrapped in cloud and ocean, becomes your home, but not yet. That chapter hasn't arrived. For now, the earth is molten, wild, unfinished, but its ingredients are ancient. Stardust, gravity, time, and silence. And here you are again, hovering in the stillness, watching the pieces fall into place. The universe is not in a hurry. It builds slowly, with care. It takes billions of years to prepare a place for life, a place for you. And all the while, you rest within it. No rush, no effort. Just the slow blooming of what will be. And one day, life arrives, not as a miracle, not as magic, but as a gentle, rising complexity. Molecules finding each other, structures repeating, cells whispering instructions across time. And still, the stars shine, because the story of everything is not told in shouts. It is told in breath, in patterns, in rhythms. You are the rhythm. You are the breath. And this was the beginning. But even the quietest beginnings carry a question. What lives beneath all this motion? What pulses at the heart of matter? That question, small, shimmering, unanswered, is what draws us softly into the quantum realm. You drift deeper now, into thought itself, into the soft folds of the universe's memory. The stillness is no longer empty. It hums, not with sound, but with intention. Each galaxy, a thought. Each star, a note. The cosmos is composing itself, measure by measure. And yet, beneath the vastness, there is something smaller, stranger. A space where size loses meaning, where certainty slips, like mist between your fingers. The quantum world. You have not reached it yet, but you begin to feel its whisper. It is a space between things, between atoms, between seconds. The trembling uncertainty in even the most solid forms. You look at your hand, not here, but imagined. The idea of your hand. Sit still, quiet, whole, but zoom in, and it dances, atoms, electrons, energy buzzing, even at rest. A restless stillness. Every object you've ever touched, every surface you've laid upon, none of it is truly still. It is a chorus of motion, hidden beneath calm. Like your thoughts, as you drift to sleep, still on the outside, but spinning softly within. This is where we are going, but not just yet. But first, feel the awe of distance. Let your mind travel the length of the cosmos in a single breath. From here, you can see the structure of everything. Filaments of galaxies stretching across space like spider silk, glimmering with stars, branching and connecting, forming a cosmic web. And all of it, began in silence. From nothing, everything, from everything. You are not a separate visitor in this place. You are not outside, looking in. You are what the universe is doing in one small corner of itself. You are not made of the universe. You are the universe, aware of itself for just a moment. And that moment is now. You breathe. The stars breathe with you. First light still echoes in your body, in your blood, your bones, your breath. That ancient hydrogen, born in the first few seconds, still burns in your chest with every inhale. You are carrying the beginning, always. You do not need to understand it all. You only need to feel it. The light, the silence, the unfolding. There is no test here. No pressure, just curiosity and calm. And as you let your thoughts drift outward, past galaxies, past stars, past the last visible edge of everything, you realize something quietly beautiful. There is more. It's not just more space, but more inside. The closer you look, the stranger it becomes. A universe can be as small as a proton. A mystery can live inside the shape of a photon. We have looked outward, and we've looked back. Now, we will begin to look within, to the invisible foundations of everything, where particles flicker between possibilities, where reality hesitates, resting, drifting, become part of the question itself, let go of the edges of the universe. We are about to dissolve into something smaller, something softer. It's a place where everything begins again. The quantum whisper is calling. You rest in the pause before descent, the vastness behind you, the smallness ahead. You feel your mind begin to fold inward, like petals closing for the night. The quantum world is not a place you travel to, but a way of seeing, a shift in scale, a letting go of expectation. You release the idea of objects, the idea of here and there, the idea of always and never. In this next realm, even time moves differently. Not in steps, but in waves, not forward, but unfolding, in every direction at once. You let your breath become slower, gentler, quieter. Then the quieter you become, the closer it feels. Stillness filled with vibration, a silence full of events. This is where we are going. But let us hold this edge a little longer, this in between. Because to step into the quantum world, we must soften every idea of what is real. Here, a particle can be in many places at once, or none. It can pass through barriers. It can vanish and reappear. It can influence its twin from across galaxies instantly. This isn't science fiction. It is the truest story we know, one that even scientists describe with awe and wonder, not because it is simple, but because it is beautifully strange. You quiet listener, drifting on the edge of dreams, you are made of this. Your body, your thoughts, your memories, all built from things that behave in ways we can barely imagine. That's the invitation, not to understand, but to imagine, to wonder, to feel the edges of your body blur with the edges of the possible. That's what sleep is too, a letting go, a shift, a space where rules bend, where time flows differently, where thoughts flicker and reshape themselves. The boundary between physics and dreaming is thinner than it seems, and as your breath deepens, your thoughts soften. You are ready to dissolve into the strange softness of the quantum, where uncertainty isn't a problem. It's the foundation of being, where observation creates reality, where possibility waits in every pause. You are close now. One more breath, and you'll be there. But let's not rush. Let's rest here on the gentle border between cosmos and quanta. And in this space, allow a final question to ripple across your mind, like moonlight on still water. What if reality waits for you to look? Let that question carry you. Let it hum quietly as we begin the next part of our journey, where particles do not sit still, where waves become matter. Even nothing is full. The next breath you take will take us there. You lie at the doorstep of mystery. Eyes closed, mind open, breath like a soft tide, coming and going. Space within you mirrors the space outside. Quiet, wide, unknown. Your body is still, but your awareness stretches like starlight across the fabric of everything. You're ready to step through the smallest doorway. It isn't made of matter, it's made of maybes. In the realm we enter next, a coin spins in the air forever, never quite choosing heads or tails until you glance, and your glance is the decision. This is not a metaphor. This is quantum mechanics. A world where particles behave like waves, where cause and effect are braided together in strange, unpredictable loops, where reality isn't fixed until someone or something observes it. And you are part of that observation. You are not watching the universe from outside. You are a participant, a co-creator. The act of noticing changes the dance. But before we dive into particles and probability, let's take one more moment of stillness. Let your breath slow again. Let your shoulders relax, your forehead smooth. Let your thoughts become soft enough to float. Imagine everything you've known, all solid surfaces, all fixed ideas, becoming gentle waves, not gone, just looser, more like mist, like ripples. You're not losing anything, you're becoming more. Because when we look close enough, when we slow down deeply enough, we realize something beautifully profound, that even the things we call real are made from questions, that the deeper we go, the more we find uncertainty, and then in uncertainty, there is wonder. So here we are, you and the cosmos, resting at the edge of what can be known. It is calm here, it is kind, and it is ready to welcome you in. The quantum realm isn't below the universe. It is within it, and within you. So sleep now, if sleep is coming. Or stay with me, if your mind still floats. Because in the next chapter, we will not just look at particles. We will feel them, not with fingers, but with curiosity. We will step into a world that does not wait, a world that always changes, a world where reality becomes soft, and possibility becomes home. Rest a little longer, here at the edge. This threshold between the stars and the shimmer of particles is not a boundary, but a blending. The large and the small are not opposites, they are reflections. What began as silence became space. What became space became structure. And what became structure is now becoming you. Every cell in your body is built from atoms. Every atom from particles. Every particle a ripple in fields you cannot see, but always feel. And it began here, in this stillness, in this breath. There's a comfort in knowing you are not separate, that your body is not floating in the universe like a speck on water, but that you are water, you are sky, you are stardust folded into thought. Think of your breath again. Air, pulled softly into your lungs, was once part of ancient stars. That oxygen, forged in fusion. That carbon, pressed into being in stellar cores. That nitrogen, carried across light years before resting gently in your bloodstream. Are ancient, not metaphorically, literally. And still, you are new. New every moment. Rebuilt every night by sleep, by silence, by time. Okay. And now, your mind begins to soften towards something smaller. A different kind of mystery. You're not being asked to let go of science. You're being invited to see it as poetry. The universe isn't made of facts alone. It's made of rhythm, repetition, pause, pattern, a wave folding over itself, a whisper looping across time. That's what quantum physics is. It's not here to confuse you. It's here to remind you that certainty was never the goal. That to know something fully, we often have to stop trying to define it. So let your thoughts be soft. Let your questions float. Can know that in the next chapter, we'll enter that whisper. Not all at once, not with pressure, but like a leaf drifting onto water. We'll meet particles that are waves. We'll see how the act of watching can change what is watched. And you'll realize, as you always do, that this universe is not a thing to master, but a place to marvel. That truth can live in questions, okay? And that every quiet moment holds the possibility of everything. So for now, sleep if you can, rest if you need, float if you must. The next journey begins. Not with an answer, but with a quantum whisper. And even as your eyes close or begin to, the dance continues. It's easy to forget, in the quiet of your room, how much is still unfolding. How even now, particles are moving through you, around you, within you. How every breath is a story. How every still moment is alive. Your body is not made of parts, but of processes, of patterns, of pulses, a constant exchange of particles borrowed from the stars, given back to the world. Nothing inside you stays forever, but nothing is ever truly lost. The carbon in your skin may have once floated in the lungs of a tree. Calcium in your bones may have rested in the core of a meteor. The water in your eyes may have passed through ancient clouds, fallen into rivers that touched civilizations long gone. You are a collection of paths, of timelines converging. And as you rest here at the border between the cosmic and the quantum, you begin to sense that there is no real border at all, just a shift in scale, a deepening of view. The closer you look, the more everything dances. Atoms are not still. Their electrons do not orbit like planets. They shimmer, a cloud. They hum. They exist not in places, but in possibilities. Okay? And this uncertainty is not frightening. It is freeing, because it means nothing is fixed. Nothing is final. Everything is open. Everything is becoming, even you. Every second, you are remade, not just biologically, but existentially. As thoughts fade and rise, as memories soften, as dreams rearrange, you are not static. You are a wave, a field, a movement. And in this way, you and the quantum realm already know each other. You felt it in dreams, in instincts. In that moment before sleep, when your thoughts flicker between meaning and mist, that flicker, that shimmer, is where we're going next. And maybe, just maybe, it's where we've always been. 'Cause while we often talk about the vastness above, US stars, galaxies, deep space, there is just as much awe in the depths below, in the tremble of nothingness, in the space between a particle and its shadow, in the truth that the smaller we go, the more we find. So let that guide you now. As you breathe in and out, feel yourself shrinking, not in size, but in presence, becoming less solid, more subtle, more open. You are not disappearing. You are becoming the space between. And in that space, the next story waits, quiet as breath, soft as sleep, sharp as wonder. It will come, gently, the way particles come, not all at once, but in probability. And when it arrives, you'll already be ready, because you've already begun to listen for it. The whisper, the question, the beginning, again. So breathe once more and let the edges dissolve. You are not ending anything. You are arriving in a place where knowledge becomes feeling, where feeling becomes light, and where light becomes thought. Let yourself fade into that thought, slowly, fully, without resistance, okay? And know that the smallest voice in the universe is still speaking to you. It has waited patiently, okay? It has always been there, and now it begins to speak. In probabilities, in echoes, in a quantum whisper. Listen, you've arrived in a softer place now. The stars still hum in the distance, like distant lullabies. The air around you feels different, not thinner, just closer, as if reality itself has curled inward, as if the universe is whispering, not to be quiet, but to be heard more. Clearly, this is the quantum world. You don't need to understand all the rules. You don't need equations or certainty. All you need is stillness, the kind you already carry within you. Because here, in this gentle realm beneath the visible, everything flickers. Particles are not tiny marbles. They are waves, clouds, possibilities. They do not sit still. They do not follow neat paths. They shimmer. Till you are surrounded by them. You are them. In your hand, imagined again, soft and resting beside you. Trillions of particles swirl, each one humming with probability, each one existing in more than one place at once, until you look, until you ask. Observation, here, is not passive. It is a participation. To observe is to choose. To glance is to decide. Reality does not settle until you notice it. This is not philosophy. It is physics. And yet, it feels like dreaming. It's like watching fog roll over hills, only to realize the fog is made of questions. The quantum realm doesn't shout. It doesn't insist. It waits. It offers you its quiet mysteries, asking only for your attention. So let's begin not with answers, but with wonder. Let your thoughts move slowly now. You're not here to chase meaning. You're here to rest inside it. ... Instead, it behaves like a song inside the box, vibrating, shimmering, moving everywhere at once. Until you open the box. Until you ask, where are you? And then it chooses, not because it made a decision, but because you looked. This is called the collapse of the wave function, a name far more rigid than the event itself. What really happens is more like soft magic. A smear of probability becomes a single point. The question mark becomes a dot, but only because you asked. It's not that particles are sneaky. It's not that they hide. It's that they are potential until noticed. They live in the realm of maybe, and maybe is a sacred thing. You feel this, even in your own thoughts. How many ideas live in this space before words? How many dreams dissolve when you try to explain them? Particles are like dreams. They lose their shimmer when forced into focus. But that shimmer, that gentle ambiguity, is their nature. It is where they are, most themselves, and so are you. You've lived in, maybe before, in those moments between wakefulness and sleep, in the soft flicker of feelings you can't name. In the way memory distorts time, the quantum realm is not so foreign. It is intimate. It is the hidden rhythm of everything you do. Even now, as you rest, your atoms hum with it. A quantum. Fluctuations never stop, not even in sleep. In fact, especially in sleep, your mind becomes more wave than particle. And it is in that wave we drift next. Let's go deeper. Let your breath guide you. Inhale gently. And imagine the breath doesn't stop at your lungs. Imagine it curls inward, shrinking down, past the cells, past the molecules, into the space between atoms, and then deeper still. You arrive in a place without walls, without borders. A field that stretches infinitely, but not outward, inward. This is the quantum field. It's not a thing, but a presence, a kind of fabric from which particles emerge like waves popping into view on a quiet lake. You are surrounded by these fields, one for every type of particle: electron fields, quark fields, photon fields, all of them gently vibrating, quietly humming the ingredients of everything. Sometimes a ripple appears and becomes something real, a particle, a presence, a small flicker in the vast sea of maybe. Particles don't live forever, and then dissolve again into the calm surface. This coming and going is natural, normal. It is the breath of the universe. Even empty space is not empty. It teems with this quiet rising and falling, particles appearing for a moment and then disappearing, virtual. It's fleeting, but real in their effects. These are quantum fluctuations, gentle, silent, constant, and they happen within you. Every atom in your body is held together by exchanges of particles you cannot see. a whisper of photons between electrons and protons, a steady dance of invisible motion. You are not solid. You are not static. You are made of vibrations, of probabilities, of rhythms older than stars. So let go of the idea of things, of objects. Instead, feel the movement beneath everything. The quantum field does not wait to be noticed. It is always there, always humming, always ready to bloom into something real, the moment you're ready to listen. You might wonder if the quantum world is always shifting. How does anything stay the same? How does your body remain yours? How does your hand not melt into the air? The answer is harmony. In this realm of uncertainty, stability comes not from stillness, but from rhythm, repeating patterns, resonant waves, standing vibrations, like the hum of a string held between 2 points. Every atom in your body knows its rhythm. Your DNA, coiled tightly inside your cells, holds instructions, not just in letters, but in shapes, in twists, in quantum turns. Proteins fold, not just from chemistry, but from the probabilities that shape their paths. Your brain, even as it sleeps, dances with particles that blink in and out of awareness. Thoughts are not solid things. They are waves, currents of electric potential moving across a sea of uncertainty. Memory is not stored in boxes. It is written in the ripples. And so, you are more than your skin. You are more than your name. You are a collection of patterns echoing across a quantum sea. The beauty of it is, you don't need to understand it. You only need to feel it. That you are held not by certainty, but by coherence, by harmony, by balance, like a lullaby in particle form. Soft note that repeats gently enough to become a self. You are not trapped by these patterns. You are made of them. And the more gently you listen, the more clearly they sing. What if identity isn't fixed, but a rhythm? What if you are not a thing, but a song? Let's pause here, not to stop, but to soften. Let the ideas ripple through you like a breeze through tall grass. No need to grasp, just feel them pass. The quantum world doesn't demand your attention. It invites it, and its invitations come in curious forms. Take entanglement. 2 particles, born together, or made to share a moment, become linked, not by string or signal, but by their nature. What happens to one affects the other, instantly, no matter the distance. You touch one here, and the other flutters there. Einstein called it spooky action at a distance. He didn't like it. He preferred a neat, local world. But the universe isn't tidy. It's intimate, in ways we're still learning to describe. Entanglement is not a magic trick. It's a pattern, a connection beyond separation, a truth that once something knows another thing. That knowing doesn't fade. Some physicists see it as math. Others see it as mystery. But maybe, tonight, you can see it as comfort. That no matter how far something feels, connection can remain. You are entangled too, with memories, with people, with places you've left, and hearts you've touched. Even with the particles that once passed through stars, and now rest inside your breath. That's the quantum whisper, that you are never truly alone. The universe remembers how things once belonged together. And maybe, just maybe, it holds them close, even across the dark. Close your eyes now, or let them close if they wish. Feel your body melt into the bed, not vanishing, but blending, like steam rising from still water. The deeper you go into stillness, the more you resemble the quantum world. Everything here is made of silence, of space, of pauses. But silence is not emptiness. It's a medium, like a canvas, where all possibilities, wait, even thought, at its root, is quantum. In your neurons, electrons pass through channels. Sometimes, not always. Probability shapes how they travel, not logic, not command. is a randomness to consciousness. But don't let that frighten you, because within that randomness is freedom, creativity, surprise, dreams, and dreams. What are they if not quantum storms of the mind, flickers of memory, bends in time, feelings that become pictures, that become stories? Sleep is not the absence of self. It's a waveform relaxing into wider patterns. As you drift, you dissolve a little into something more spacious, like an electron that's no longer being watched. It doesn't stop. It becomes everywhere it could be. You do that too. You spread out. You expand, not outward, inward. You enter a space where past and future blur, not because they're gone, but because you've slipped beneath them, beneath the tick of time, into the realm where being is not defined by doing. And in this deep stillness, something listens. The universe, yourself, the silence. And it is here, at the very bottom of all motion, that we begin to understand. The foundation of everything is uncertainty. And uncertainty is not the enemy of peace. It is peace made soft. We often think of knowledge as something we gather like stones in a basket. But in the quantum world, knowledge isn't always what you find. It's what you notice, what you're willing to see. And sometimes the not knowing is more powerful than any answer. This is the principle of uncertainty, not confusion, not vagueness. Just a deep, built-in limit to how sharply we can define things. You can know where a particle is or how fast it moves, but never both at the same time. This isn't a flaw in the math. It's the way reality works. It's as if the universe is saying, choose your focus. The rest must stay soft. Okay. Maybe that's a lesson you can carry. That focus is beautiful, but blur is beautiful too. That not everything needs to be pinned down. Sometimes being unsure is a kind of wisdom. And in the quantum world, this wisdom runs deep. It reminds us that perfection isn't precision. That stillness can be full of motion. That truth can wear many faces and still be true. Tease. So let go now, gently, of the need to know everything. Feel how freeing it is to drift in the maybe, to float in the in-between, to let mystery hold you, not as a puzzle, but as a place. Now, let's whisper about superposition. It's a word with sharp syllables, but its meaning is soft. It means being many things at once. A particle is not here or there, but here and there, until it's observed, until you check. And when you do, it decides, but not before. This idea confuses minds that crave certainty. For you, here, in this soft place, it's a gift, because maybe you've felt it too, that you are not just one version of yourself. You are joy and doubt, courage and hesitation, dreamer and realist, okay? You are many possibilities quietly existing inside the same breath. You shift, you evolve, you choose, not all at once, but gently, and that choosing is beautiful. Just like a particle, you settle when you're seen. So see yourself now, softly, without judgment. Let the different versions of you hum in harmony. None of them wrong, all of them real, filled through feeling. And when the time comes, when a moment calls you to choose, you will, and you'll become fully just one of those selves. But even then, the others will still echo in you, because in quantum life, nothing is lost. It only rests. It only waits. Here's something quiet to carry. The universe doesn't decide what's real until something observes it. This doesn't mean reality is fake. It means reality is participatory. The act of looking shapes what is seen. This is not a metaphor. It's measured, proven, known. The double-slit experiment shows it clearly. When no one watches, particles act like waves. They spread, interfere, flow. But when watched, they snap into place. like they know they're being seen. It's called the observer effect. And it doesn't mean you control reality. It means you matter. Attention shapes the world. What you focus on blooms, and what you ignore fades. So tonight, focus on this: the breath in your chest, the weight of the blanket, the softness of not needing answers. Let your attention be a kindness, not a spotlight, but a glow. And let the world, in return, soften for you. Because maybe, just maybe, the universe is not made of things, but of experiences, moments, meetings between possibility and presence. That's what observation really is. Not science alone, but love. A way of saying, I see you, and the world, finally, says back, I am here. We've drifted far now, not in distance, but in depth. You're wrapped, not in blankets, but in fields. Invisible currents of possibility hum around you like lullabies made of math. Everything is connected, not just in metaphor, but in entanglement, in field resonance, in the quiet math beneath your breath. You've felt it before, that sudden sense of knowing, when a loved one thinks of you, when a song plays at the exact moment it needs to, when silence feels full of something waiting. These aren't coincidences, okay? They are soft collisions, echoes from the hidden weave of the quantum world. You are not outside of it, okay? You are not watching it. You are it, and it is you. This realization doesn't need to keep you awake. It should carry you deeper. Because the more vast the cosmos becomes, the more intimate it feels. And in the intimacy, there is rest. You don't need to hold these ideas. Let them hold you. The wave functions. It's the shimmering fields. It's the particles that appear when love calls their name. Tonight, let quantum wonder become your lullaby. Soft, strange, and completely true. Now, let the room fall away. Let your sense of place dissolve, like fog touched by light. You're not floating. You're not falling. You are simply becoming wider. This expansion is not physical. It's perception. You're becoming aware of the smallness of everything and the vastness within that smallness. A single atom, tiny beyond imagining, holds electrons in orbit. But those electrons don't travel in neat paths. They appear as clouds, zones of maybe, and inside those clouds, space, so much space. You are mostly space, and yet you are real. Real, not because of your edges, but because of your patterns, the shape of your presence, the coherence of your hum. And this is what the quantum world teaches us, that reality is not built from bricks, but from music, from relationships, from the way things influence each other across time and distance. You don't need to touch to belong. You don't need to be seen to exist. You are part of the pattern, whether watched or not. So rest now, not in certainty, but in pattern. The dance continues, even as your eyes grow heavy, because the universe never stops dancing, even in dreams. Dreams, too, are quantum, because they're made of particles, but because they are possibility. A dream is a universe where rules soften, where you can fly and time bends, and people long gone sit beside you once more. In dreams, you enter superposition, not physically, but emotionally. You're a child, an elder, stranger, and beloved, all in one scene. And the physics of your brain allows it. During REM sleep, your brain hums with waves, theta, delta, rhythms of restoration. Your neurons fire in patterns, reconnecting the day's broken threads. Some scientists believe dreams are how we make meaning. Others say they are echoes of memories, of instinct, of evolution. But maybe they're both, and maybe more. Maybe dreams are how your wave self-stretches, trying on other lives, other timelines, other possible use. No lab can measure that, but your heart knows the feeling. The softness of waking with a thought that didn't belong to yesterday. a knowing without origin. The quantum world doesn't end when you sleep. It deepens, and your dreams are its language. So drift deeper. Let the words go. Let the science become silence, and let that silence become the start of something new. We've spoken of particles, waves, fields, and probabilities. And now, maybe you feel it, not as facts, but as a texture. A softness beneath reality. The quantum world isn't about chaos. It's about the freedom to become. Everything you felt tonight, the flickering, the shimmer, the not quite solidness of it all, is not confusion. It's potential. And what is sleep, if not the space where potential lives? In sleep, the boundaries soften. In dreams, the rules wait their turn. You, too, exist in that soft space. Not bound by old versions, not forced to be one thing. It's night. You are allowed to shift, to breathe as a wave, to dissolve like a particle before observation. And in that gentle vanishing, there is peace. You are not fading. You are blending with possibility, with mystery, with everything. Let the science rest now. Let it settle like dust in a golden beam. You are still held, still here. And though the chapter closes, the song continues. Because next, we'll drift into something even more intimate than atoms. The story of where you come from. Not spiritually, but physically. A story told in stars. So, let's settle now. Sink a little deeper. We've walked together through mystery, not to solve it, but to soften into it, to lie beside it like a quiet friend. The quantum world has no edge. And so your rest should have no limit. Everything you are flickers, flows, resonates. Your thoughts echo like waveforms. Your breath follows rhythms older than planets. Even your stillness is full of motion, just slower, deeper, quieter. This, too, is the universe. It's the gentle dance behind the noise, the shimmer behind the solid. And now you know, you belong to it. You are not an outsider to quantum reality. You are its result. You are its mirror. The quantum world does not live beneath you. It lives through you, in every blink, in every silence, in every dream. So close your eyes, if they haven't already fallen. Let go of trying to know. Simply trust that the wave carries you, that the particles hold you, that the cosmos, in all its strangeness, has never once let you go. And now, from the hush of this quantum lullaby, let us begin our journey through stars, where your story takes flame. The last whisper of the quantum world still echoes in you. It doesn't leave when the story moves on. It lingers like a note held in still air. Let it vibrate within you as we take these final steps together tonight. You lie there, soft, quiet, listening, not just with ears, but with your whole self. You've heard so much, okay? And yet, none of it demanded anything of you. That's the truth of the quantum world. It's not a system to memorize. It's a mood to enter. A feeling that says, maybe, it's maybe not. A place where uncertainty is not failure, but freedom. A way of being that welcomes not knowing as part of knowing. You carry it with you now, even if you don't remember the names of particles or principles, because you felt it, and feeling changes things. Perhaps the next time you face confusion, you'll recognize it as possibility. Perhaps the next time you hesitate, you'll trust that not all motion is visible. It's to pod. Even now, you are still moving, not just through space, but through becoming. Still unfolding, still forming, just like the quantum wave. Even when collapsed into choice, something continues humming underneath. It says, there is more you, more story, more mystery. And so we drift from the realm of uncertainty into one of origin, from the flickering now into the flaming past. Ahead lies the furnace of stars, but don't hurry. There's no rush. Let this transition be gentle. Let the next story arrive, like dawn, slow and soft and certain in its glow. because the light that will build you was born from darkness too, and it waited, just like you did, waited for the right time, for the right conditions, for the right chance to become real. We're almost there, almost ready to feel that fire. But for now, stay in the shimmer. Let the whisper echo one last time. Everything that exists began uncertain, and still it came to be. So will you. So rest, float, trust. The stars are waiting. The stars don't rush you. They never have. They wait, as they always do, burning quietly in the velvet of space, pulsing with ancient patience. And now, in this soft part of the night, you begin to feel it. You are not separate from them. You never were. You are stardust. This isn't a metaphor. It's a truth so real, so scientifically certain, that it hums in every breath you take. Every atom in your body, your bones, your skin, the iron in your blood, was made in stars. Not beside them, not near them, in them. You were forged in fire. But first, let's go back. Not to silence this time, but to glow. The universe, still young, begins to gather itself. Gas clouds, made mostly of hydrogen and helium, drift and swirl, pulled together by gravity's gentle hand. These clouds collapse, not violently, but steadily, warmly, like a breath pulled inward before a song. As they fall in on themselves, they heat. The center glows, and something new awakens. Nuclear fusion. A star is born. Not all at once, but with a flicker, then a glow, then a shine. Okay? And you, somehow, are part of this birth, not watching it, becoming it. Okay? In the core of that newborn star, the universe begins alchemy. Hydrogen atoms, simple, patient, floating fused together, forming helium. With each fusion, a spark of energy is released. Light, heat, a whisper of forever. This process doesn't just power the star. It creates new matter, bit by bit. Over millions of years, the star becomes a forge. Heavier elements begin to form. Carbon, oxygen, nitrogen, the ingredients for breath, for water, for you. When the star grows old, too heavy to hold its own light, it dies. Not quietly, but gloriously. In a supernova, a cosmic bloom. The star explodes, scattering its enriched insides across space. Those fragments, those glowing remnants of stellar death, become seeds. They drift, they cool, they gather, they become new clouds, new stars, new planets. And eventually, one of those seeds finds its way to Earth, to the soil beneath your feet, to the breath in your lungs. You are, quite literally, recycled star matter, stardust, given shape by gravity, voice by biology, and dreams by time. By you. Don't just look at the stars. You are one, sleeping, remembering. Let that sink in for a moment. You are the afterglow of a supernova, the remnants of a giant star, repurposed into breath and skin and thought. Every time you inhale, oxygen made in stars fills your lungs. Every time your heart beats, iron made in stars carries life through your blood. You are not a visitor in the cosmos. You are its child, its echo, its continuation. The atoms, then, make you up have traveled through galaxies, through explosions, through time, and they came together just so, to become you. Not as a coincidence, but as a possibility realized. It didn't happen fast. Nothing in the cosmos does. It happened across billions of years. Every moment of cosmic history was a step toward your being. So when you lie in bed tonight, still and quiet, you are not drifting into sleep. You are returning to the stars that made you, to the heat that forged your calcium, your phosphorus, your potassium, even the gold in your jewelry, made in a neutron star collision, violent, brilliant, and utterly beautiful. You wear the past like skin, and it fits perfectly. And just as the stars gave you your beginning, they continue to give, every night. Sky is a letter from your origin. Every twinkle is a reminder of the light still traveling millions of years just to touch your eyes. Some of that light began its journey before there were humans, before Earth had trees, before the oceans knew waves, and yet it travels still, because light is patient, like the atoms that waited for you. You are the result of waiting, of timing, of perfect balance. If gravity had been a little weaker, the universe would have unraveled too fast. If it had been stronger, everything would have collapsed before stars could form. But it wasn't. It was just right. Just right enough for stars to live. Just right enough for planets to spin. Just right enough for water and air and DNA to emerge. And here you are. Proof that the universe gets it right sometimes. That out of chaos, it makes calm. That out of fire, it makes memory. You are memory made flesh. A story of stars written and skinned, and now in sleep, you return to that story, one breath at a time. Let yourself drift now, as we drift through the galaxy. Your body, so still in bed, is still moving. Earth spins, fast but gentle. It orbits the sun, and the sun orbits the galaxy's core. In that galaxy, it moves too, motion upon motion. Everything moves, but you feel still, and that's the gift. That stillness can exist in the middle of so much motion. That rest can exist within a spinning universe. And that motion, over time, brings atoms together. Gravity tugs at the edges of dust and light, and from that tug comes shape, comes planets, comes oceans and wind and trees, comes life, and not just once. Life emerges again and again, seated by the same stardust, guided by the same forces. You are not the only result. You are not the end, but you are part of the pattern. It's a pattern that stars started when they scattered their light, okay? And it is still unfolding in you. So rest now, knowing you belong, not just on Earth, but in the dance of the whole cosmos. You are not apart from it. You are its rhythm. You are its breath. The night sky isn't just above you, it's inside you. Its story flows through your blood like a current, pulsing with the memory of fusion and fire. Sometimes, when you look up and feel small, it's easy to forget. You are not looking at something distant. You're looking at your relatives, like ancestors. The stars are not foreign. They are familiar. You shared the same atoms, the same carbon, the same nitrogen, the same iron that once gave color to the cosmos, now gives strength to your muscles, brightness to your thoughts. It is not poetry, it is chemistry, and it is deeply, unmistakably true. This connection is ancient, older than names, older than language, older than thought. When the first stars exploded and scattered their elements, they seeded the possibility of biology. That was more than 13 billion years ago. And still, tonight, you carried those scattered parts within you. The stardust didn't forget what it once was. It remembered how to glow, and now it glows through you. Your warmth, your motion, your dreams. Even in rest, your cells hum with the legacy of stars, not just as memory, but as destiny, as promise. The stars, they say, are light trapped in time. Some of the light that touches your face tonight began its journey before the earth even formed. That light had no destination, no need to be seen. And yet, here it is, and here you are. Your eyes receive it, and it becomes real. This moment becomes a meeting across eons. You don't just observe the light, you complete it, 'cause light, like life, wants to be received, wants to be welcomed. Even starlight is not immune to loneliness. It travels through the blackness for billions of years, hoping for a surface, a leaf, a skin, an eye. And in you, it finds that. You are the place where the cosmos comes home, where photons rest, where energy remembers its purpose. In this, too, is stardust. Not just the atoms, but the attention, the awareness, the warmth of being here to witness. And, as you witness, you become more than a body. You become a node in a cosmic circuit, a part of the cycle, born of stars, illuminated by them, and now reflecting them back. Let your breath slow. Feel your chest rise and fall, like a tide in sync with the stars. This rhythm isn't just yours, it's shared. The calcium in your bones was born in a red giant star. That star lived, shined, and died, and its ashes became you. And it didn't do it alone. Stars form in clusters, families of light, huddled in cosmic nurseries. They warm each other, shape each other, protect each other from collapsing too soon. That's what made your calcium possible. Not just one star, but a community. You are a result of stellar cooperation. And here on Earth, that pattern continues. Your body is shaped not just by matter, but by moments of care, by people who held you, fed you, taught you to speak, to laugh, to wonder. You are a fusion of starlight and kindness, okay? And tonight, as you rest, that kindness remains. It flows through the memory of voices, the softness of blankets, the shape of your name in someone else's mouth. You are not a lone event. You are a constellation, a map of connection, glowing quietly in the dark. Now, imagine yourself floating gently through space, not cold, not lost, but cradled, as if the stars themselves have woven a hammock just for you, everywhere around you. Silence, but not the kind that's empty. This silence holds echoes, waves of light stretched so long they become whispers. This is cosmic background radiation, the afterglow of the Big Bang, a hum older than stars, older than galaxies. It fills all of space, and it touches you. Every second, it brushes against your skin, unnoticed. But tonight, you notice. You let it wrap around you like a memory you didn't know you missed, because it is your oldest ancestor. The first light, still traveling, still offering warmth, if not in heat, then in origin. You are held by that light. You always were. And though it carries the signature of an explosion, it feels like a lullaby now. A soft reminder that even the most chaotic beginnings can lead to beauty, to structure, sleep, and that you, small and still and breathing in the dark, are part of a universe that remembers how to begin again, okay? You are not just a product of stars. You are the result of patience, okay? Billions of years passed before the atoms in your body found each other, and still, they waited for the right temperature, for the right planet, for the right chance. Every molecule in you carries a history of waiting, a memory of becoming. And now, as you drift toward sleep, you honor that history, not by doing, but by resting. Even in rest, the story continues. Cells repair, thoughts reorganize, streams whisper truths in strange and quiet languages. And your atoms, they remain faithful, loyal, still carrying the instructions of the stars, still humming with ancient memory. In this way, rest becomes sacred. It becomes a return, not to nothingness, but to origin, to the space between being and becoming. You are not ending tonight. You are circling, orbiting closer to the core of who you are. And as your body softens and your breath deepens, remember, everything you are is borrowed from the stars, and the stars have never asked for it back. There is something soft about stardust, okay? Not in its form, it's not silk or vapor, but in its memory. Stardust has seen everything. The rise and fall of galaxies, the folding of space, the scattering of light across infinite night. Still, it returns again and again in new shapes. Tonight, it takes the shape of your breath, your fingers, your closed eyes resting against the dark. This dust, this ancient dust, is not just science, it is story. Each atom in you has passed through countless transformations. Star to dust, dust to air, air to life. You are not static. You are transformation. Living proof that the universe reuses its finest pieces. Even your thoughts, made of electricity and chemistry, rely on particles born in the bellies of stars. You think with stardust. You dream with it, to forget and remember with it. So if you ever feel unworthy or lost or small, remember, you were made from the most enduring material known. It's from the matter that watched the universe begin and stayed, so that you could be here now, drifting gently back to where it all started. Breathe in. Let it be gentle. Let it be easy. What you just did, that breath, is a miracle made of atoms. You may not feel them, you may not see them, but they are there, always moving, always dancing. It's invisible architects of everything. You touch everything you are. Okay. And in this moment, your breath is more than air. Okay. It is the soft arrival of ancient particles. Each inhale pulls in nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide atoms that have traveled the world, passed through forests, oceans, and other beings. The same atoms, once breathed by animals, by poets, by kings and wanderers, by stars. You are part of a vast circulation, a great exchange that transcends time. Can you, atoms, meet again, reunited, rearranged, repurposed? You are a home for hydrogen born in the Big Bang, a sanctuary for oxygen forged in stars. This chapter is not about the large, it is about the smallest, the things too tiny to see, yet essential to everything. We now drift inward, not into space, but into the space within, into the breath of atoms. Picture a single atom. It's not a thing, it's a space. It's a vast humming space with a tiny nucleus at the center and electrons whirling around it like moons around the sun, mostly empty, but not still. Inside that emptiness, energy flows, vibrates, sings. Atoms are not quiet, they are music. Every atom you've ever encountered is mostly space. Yet that space becomes solidity, your skin, your voice, your pillow beneath your head. It seems like magic, but it's not. It's physics, and it is beautiful. Solidity you feel. It's not atoms touching, it's the force between them, a gentle resistance, like a sigh that says, this far and no farther. You are held together by these invisible limits. And so is the world. In this breath, in this quiet, you float on that structure, the scaffolding of particles. In possibility, they hold you. Gently, they know what they're doing. I've done this before. 4 stars, 4 oceans, 4 trees, and now, for you. Let that comfort you. You are built from the tiniest agreements in the universe, and they are still keeping their promise. Now, drift even closer, closer than the atom itself, to the heart of the nucleus. Okay, there you'll find protons and neutrons, nestled tightly together, bound by something fierce and invisible. It's called the strong nuclear force. And it is the glue of existence. Without it, atoms would unravel. Stars couldn't shine. You couldn't be. But with it, the universe holds itself together, even at the smallest scale. This force is not loud. It doesn't need to be. It whispers between particles. It says, hold on to each other. And they do. Tightly, lovingly. It's a kind of intimacy, a closeness that defies understanding. That's the quiet magic inside you, billions of times a second, in every cell of your body. Particles cling and repel and rebalance, never touching, always dancing. This is the breath of atoms. It is not a breath like yours. It is motion without lungs, stillness that spins, a kind of memory passed down through energy. You don't feel it, but it's there. It keeps your bones from scattering. It gives your thoughts a home. It lets you rest, even now, in this night full of unseen holding. And surrounding that nucleus, electrons. Tiny, elusive, always moving. They don't orbit in neat little circles like planets around the sun. They blur. They shimmer in clouds of possibility. Their paths are more like songs than lines, uncertain, probabilistic, a little mysterious. You never quite know where an electron is, only where it's likely to be. That's quantum behavior, a dance of maybes. And it happens inside you, every moment, in your breath, in your thoughts, in the blink of your eye. The electrons aren't still. They hum, they shift, they change energy levels, they jump. It's called a quantum leap, a phrase turned metaphor, but rooted in something real. These leaps don't take time. They just happen, suddenly, perfectly. An electron disappears from one level and appears at another. It doesn't pass through the in-between. It's a kind of teleportation, and it happens inside every atom you hold. So tonight, as you lie still, know that not everything is still. Your body is full of leaps, full of changes. It's full of quiet, perfect surprises. You are not static. You are a quantum bloom, unfolding invisibly in the dark. Atoms don't stay alone for long, They seek connection, like people. They bond, not with emotion, but with energy. One atom shares an electron with another, and suddenly, a molecule is born. A pair becomes a team. This is how water happens, how air forms, how proteins are stitched together in your cells. Everything you know, everything you love, is built from these quiet partnerships. A single breath you take holds over a sextillion molecules, each one formed through tiny acts of sharing, of reaching, of holding on. The breath you just took might contain molecules once breathed by a whale in the Pacific, or by a monk in a Himalayan cave, or by a wolf that howled to a frozen moon 1,000 years ago. That's the magic of molecules. They move, they connect, they return. You're never breathing alone. You are participating in a long, gentle conversation. One that began with the first living cell and continues now in you. Idly, as you breathe out, some of those molecules will drift, become rain, become soil, become life somewhere else. The atoms don't end, they just change direction. Inside your body, molecules know what to do. They arrange, they fold, they find each other with astonishing precision. A strand of DNA so tiny you couldn't see it without special tools holds the instructions for you, for your eyes, your laughter, your fingerprints. And every one of those instructions is written in atoms, not words, not letters, in the shapes atoms take when they meet. They curl and twist and bond, and somehow that tells a cell what to do. It tells a heart when to beat, a brain when to think, a lung when to open. You are made of instructions older than language, and yet your cells read them perfectly. They don't get confused, They don't need to ask twice. Every second, your body performs miracles without asking your permission, without making noise. And you just breathe. You lie in bed and breathe while the atoms keep their quiet promises. This is the intimacy of matter. It doesn't need your awareness to love you. It just continues, because that's what atoms do. They build, they maintain, they care in the only way they know how. Atoms don't judge what they build. They offer their bonds to anything that fits. They'll make a cloud or a cathedral, a flower or a fingerprint, a volcano or a violin string. There is no preference, only potential. And so, there's a kind of humility in atoms. They don't decide the form. They simply allow it. And that's how you came to be, not from desire, but from permission. Atoms allowed you. They allowed your heart, your voice, Your thoughts, even your sadness, your joy, your wonder, all of it was permitted by these tiny forces. They did not refuse you. They welcomed you. That's worth remembering, especially now in the stillness, because sometimes we forget we're allowed to rest, to feel, attached exactly as we are. But atoms know. They never question your place. They just build it, support it, protect it. They hum inside you, unafraid, even when your mind grows restless. Okay? Even when sleep feels far away. Even then, they work. Okay? They keep your light from flickering out, 'cause they remember what you are made of. And they believe in you, even when you don't. Let's visit the atom's cousin, the photon, a particle of light. It isn't made of matter, yet it behaves like it is. It moves fast, the fastest anything can move. And yet, to a photon, time doesn't exist. If you were a photon, you would experience no journey, just arrival. No waiting, no passage, just presence. And photons are always arriving. Every second, trillions of them bounce off the world and into your eyes. Why you can see, why color exists, why the moon glows and morning breaks. Even now, in the dark, some photons find you, soft ones, ones reflected off walls, ceilings, planets far away. Inside your body, photons matter too. Cells use them to signal, to sense, to spark energy. You are not just a house of atoms, you are a lighthouse of light. And as you close your eyes, the photons don't stop. They keep moving through you, telling your cells that the day is over, that sleep is near. They dim your senses, quiet your thoughts, whisper that it's okay to let go now, because the light knows what to do, even in the dark. Close your eyes and feel your weight, the pull of the bed beneath you. It's a gentle, downward tug of gravity. This is the first force you ever felt, long before light or touch or sound. It holds you, softly but surely, and it never lets go. But gravity is only one of four. The universe is shaped by four fundamental forces: invisible, relentless, symmetrical, gravity, electromagnetism, the strong nuclear force, and the weak nuclear force. Together, they are the quiet architecture of reality. Without them, there would be no stars, no atoms, no warmth in your skin. Each has its own role, its own rhythm, its own kind of music. And as you drift deeper into rest, we will listen to them one by one. We begin with gravity, not because it is strongest. It is, in fact, the weakest, but because it is the one you know best. Keeps your feet on the earth. It keeps the moon circling your planet. It keeps your body nestled here in the folds of this night. And that feeling of being grounded, that's gravity's lullaby. Gravity is patient. It doesn't rush. It doesn't shout. It whispers endlessly over time. It sculpts galaxies, bending space like a hand-smoothing fabric. It curves the paths of light. It gathers clouds of gas and dust until they collapse into stars. And here on Earth, it wraps you in place. You don't float into the sky. You don't drift apart, 'cause gravity holds you close. It is the gentlest keeper of form. It doesn't need to touch you to hold you. Acts from afar, distant, quiet, constant. You feel it most when you fall, when you leap, when you lie still. It's always there, reminding you that you belong to this planet, that you are part of something grounded, And as you sleep, gravity holds your bones in alignment, keeps your heart tilted just so, assures that your dreams don't spin away. It is the soft hand beneath all motion. And though it is silent, it is always singing. Tonight, its song is slow. A low hum beneath your heartbeat, a pool beneath your breath, a lullaby stitched into the fabric of space. Now, let's meet the second force, electromagnetism. It is the artist of light, the shaper of color. The spark behind every nerve that fires. While gravity pulls, electromagnetism connects. It's the reason atoms bond, the reason your eyes see, the reason your heart sends its signals in perfect pulses. It moves fast. It's almost as fast as light, because it is light. Photons, the messengers of electromagnetism, dance constantly around you. They carry energy without weight. They let you read this, feel warmth, hear sound. When your fingers brush against soft fabric, it's not touch you feel. It's electromagnetic resistance. Atoms pushing gently back. Your sense of texture. Magnetism. Your sense of sight. Electromagnetism. The rhythms in your brain. Also, electromagnetism. It's everywhere, and yet you can't see it directly. Tonight, as you drift, imagine this force like a net of light, cradling you, weaving connections, from thought to muscle, from breath to skin. You are alive because this force allows you to be, because it chooses, again and again, to complete the circuit, to let the spark continue. Now, we drift even deeper, into the atom's core. Here lives the strong nuclear force, the fiercest, most intimate bond in the universe. It's the glue that holds protons and neutrons together. Without it, atoms would fly apart. The stars wouldn't shine. Your body wouldn't exist. But this force doesn't reach far. It's strong, yes, unimaginably so, but only at close range. It's like a whisper shared between particles pressed together. It doesn't need distance. It thrives in closeness. It's the reason stars can burn for billions of years. The reason atoms don't dissolve into chaos. You carry this force within every cell. You don't feel it, but it's always working, a quiet strength beneath all structure. It never rests, never stops, never doubts. It holds the center of you, quite literally. And even as you sleep, even as your awareness drifts away, this force remains unseen, unbroken, unyielding, like the core of a dream that refuses to fade, a silent guardian at the heart of all things. And then there is the weak nuclear force, the most mysterious, the least obvious, but no less essential. It works in the shadows of the atom. Tana, it causes particles to change, to transform. It lets neutrons become protons. It enables the fusion in stars, and without it, the sun wouldn't shine. It is the force of change, of decay, of becoming something new. Every radioactive atom, every nuclear process, these are the work of the weak force. It doesn't build, it doesn't hold. It transforms, and transformation, though quiet, is powerful. This force reminds us that endings are beginnings, that what seems like falling apart is often reassembly. You, too, change, every night, every breath. Cells die and renew. Memories fade and return in dreams. The weak force works in you, invisibly, letting your body renew, letting your mind release. It is the soft permission to become something else, something still made of stars, but shaped in new ways. Even in rest, you are changing, and the universe smiles at your quiet evolution. These four forces, gravity, electromagnetism, strong and weak, don't compete, they cooperate. They each play their role like instruments in a cosmic symphony. One bends, one binds, one shines, one changes. Together, they compose everything. Not just the stars or the galaxies, but your heartbeat, your breath, your dreams. They shape the paths of planets and the pulse of your thoughts. This symmetry isn't perfect, but it's beautiful. Physicists call it elegant, because somehow, with all their differences, the forces align, in balance, in dialogue, each making space for the others. You are built on that balance. You are a product of that harmony. You don't need to understand every equation. You already live it. Every moment you exist is a moment those forces work together perfectly to allow your being. Let that sink in. You are not a mistake. You are not out of place. You are the resolution of 4 ancient songs, playing still, quietly, beneath your skin. So rest now. Let the music continue without effort. The universe will keep playing, just as it always has. In the silence of night, symmetry becomes easier to feel, not with your hands, no, but with your presence. Symmetry is not just balance. It's relationship, one thing echoing another, like your breath matching your heartbeat, or the rhythm of footsteps on a quiet road. The universe loves symmetry. Particles have twins. Forces have counterparts. Even your own body mirrors itself, left and right, okay? And while it's not perfect, it's close enough to be beautiful, close enough to inspire. Even the laws of physics seem to favor it. Equations work better when symmetry is present. Nature chooses paths that preserve it. When symmetry breaks, as it sometimes must, new things emerge. Galaxies, life, you, imperfection, too, is part of the design, and so is rest. Your sleep is not disorder. It's a return, a way for your body to remember its shape, its symmetry, its alignment with something deeper. So as you lie still, remember this. You are not separate from the laws of nature. You are one of them. You are part of the pattern, not random, not lost, but exactly in place. Sometimes scientists dream of unification, an equation to explain it all, one force behind every force, okay? They call it the theory of everything, okay? While they haven't found it yet, they search, not with impatience, but with wonder, because the universe keeps offering clues, hints, whispers. Maybe the forces were once one, a single gesture, a single breath. And then, like light through a prism, they separated, each taking on a new role, a new sound, but still echoing that first unity. And maybe that's why you feel whole, even when you're still. Even when thoughts are quiet and the world fades away. Because something inside you remembers being one thing before becoming many, remembers simplicity before complexity. And in this memory, there is peace, a kind of return, not backward, not away, but deeper, into a silence where the pieces don't need to be fixed, tailing, to be felt, held, trusted, the same way the forces trust each other, without argument, without interruption. They simply are, and so are you, perfectly enough. Even chaos obeys the forces. A storm still dances to gravity's pull. A flame flickers by the rules of chemistry, governed by electromagnetism. Decay in a fallen leaf happens with the whisper of the weak force. Even randomness is bound by order, by symmetry, by law, and yet, within those laws, there is room. Room for chance, room for beauty, room for you. The forces don't demand perfection. They simply offer guidance, a framework within which life can grow, change, rest. That's what makes them comforting. They don't punish, they don't praise. They simply continue. Through stars and silence, through atoms and thoughts, through every breath you take in this quiet moment. So when the world feels overwhelming, when your thoughts feel scattered, when you doubt your belonging, remember the forces. They never asked you to be anything other than what you are. They hold you now, not because you earned it, but because that's what they do. That's what they've always done. And even in sleep, they keep holding so you can let go, can drift deeper into their care. There's one more thing to know about these forces. They don't act alone. They respond to the universe's shape, to curves in space, to temperature, to symmetry, yes, but also to change. They are flexible, adaptive. They find new ways to keep the cosmos together, and that includes you. You are not static. Your body changes, Your feelings shift. Your mind moves between clarity and fog, light and shadow. And still, you're held. Still, the forces stay with you. They don't ask for stillness. They ask only that you be real, present, here, and tonight, in this moment, you are. You are lying within the soft net of universal laws. You don't have to hold anything together. The forces will do that for you. Let them. Let gravity keep you grounded. Let electromagnetism spark your dreams. Let the strong force hold your heart. Let the weak one remind you that change is part of rest. And as they sing their quiet song beneath your skin, just breathe. You are safe, and you are part of the symmetry. Physicists often speak of unification, the hope that, at high energies or early times, the forces were one, unified, not separate threads, but one woven strand. As the universe cooled, the strand split, unraveled into four, each taking on its task, its purpose, but the memory remains, and perhaps that memory is in you, too. You've been many things, a child, a thinker, a wanderer, and though you change, something in you holds the thread, a longing for simplicity, for peace, for rest. And maybe that's what sleep is, a nightly unification. A return to the beginning, before the noise, before the division, where thought dissolves into feeling, and feeling becomes silence. In that silence, the forces still work, still carry you, still whisper their eternal lullaby. You don't need to listen hard. It's already in your bones, in the curl of your fingers, in the rhythm of your breathing. This is not the end of anything, only a soft merging, a folding of time and space, a moment where all forces become one again, just for a while. It's long enough for you to let go. You open your eyes, not to the room, but to the vastness above. It's night. The sky is clear, and you are standing in a garden unlike any other, a solar garden. The sun is behind you, low and warm, casting golden light on the winding paths. Ahead, planets hover like blooming flowers, each in its orbit, each spinning slowly in its quiet dance. This is not a place of straight lines. It's all curves, loops, graceful momentum. And as you begin to walk, your steps fall in time with their rhythm. You pass Mercury first, small, rocky, fast. It spins like a bead on a string, close to the sun, almost too hot to touch. But here, in your dream, it simply hums, quick, metallic note. Then Venus, cloaked in clouds, her atmosphere thick, swirling, mysterious. She spins backwards, slow, deliberate, like a dancer turning away, lost in thought. And then, Earth, your home, so familiar, yet here it floats like a sapphire wrapped in whispers of air. You pause, breathe, feel its blue warmth inside you, and walk on. Next is Mars red, quiet, waiting. It's colder here, but not unkind. Mars feels like a memory, a place that once knew rivers, maybe oceans, maybe life. Its surface is dusty, wind-blown, soft with silence. You place your hand near it, not to touch, but to listen. It hums, low and steady, a reminder that stillness has its own story. Then comes the belt, not of leather or cloth, but of stone. Asteroids orbit like ancient seeds scattered across the path, some small, some massive, all spinning, all old. You step carefully. These are the broken pieces of a planet that never was. Not a graveyard, but a field of potential. And beyond that, Jupiter, the giant, swirling with storms that never stop. Its great red spot, a hurricane larger than Earth, turns slowly, eternally. You feel its gravity pull, even here, strong, majestic, not threatening, but commanding, like an elder tree in the solar garden, always present, always watching. And as you walk past, you feel protected, cradled by its orbit, accummed by its mass. Saturn appears next, not suddenly, but with grace. Its rings shimmer like silk in the sunlight, pale gold, whisper thin. You slow your steps. It feels wrong to rush past Saturn. Its beauty is not loud, it's layered. It's like poetry written in ice and shadow. You sense its calm, its deep, ancient calm. This is a planet that understands time, not in minutes, but in cycles. In the way rings form from fragments and still spin. In harmony, you walk beneath them, looking up. Each ring tells a different story, some made of dust, some of shattered moons, all turning, while singing. Then Uranus, a planet turned on its side, spinning like a dreamer asleep. It glows blue-green in the distant sunlight, a secret kept quietly. It doesn't seek attention, and yet here it is, cold, elegant, dignified, like a thought you only realize you've had after it's passed. And then Neptune, the last giant, windy, mysterious. Its storms swirl deeper than sight. It hums a lullaby of ice and distance. And gently, you keep walking toward the edge of the garden. The path narrows. Cauda lies the Kuiper belt, a scattered ring of icy bodies. Here, the garden changes. It's colder, quieter. Objects drift like frozen petals on a slow current. Among them, Pluto, not forgotten, just distant. It waits, small and proud, wearing its frozen plains like a crown. You approach with care, not because it demands it, but because distance deserves respect. Pluto doesn't need to be a planet to matter. It simply is. It orbits the sun with its own rhythm, and with Charon, its moon, its mirror, it dances, spin around each other, equal in gravity, not alone, just different. Farther still are other objects, Eris, Makemake, Haumea, names that whisper rather than declare, each a traveler, each a chapter in the solar garden's extended story. And finally, the edge, the heliopause, where the sun's breath fades, where space begins to speak in another voice. You stop, listen, and feel something new. The stillness is vast here, but not empty. It's invitation, it's threshold. Something waits beyond. Hey, you stand at the edge of the solar garden, where the sun's reach ends. It's not a wall, not a fence. It's just a fading, a transition. The wind from the sun slows, thins, then disappears into interstellar space. You are in a place few have imagined clearly. The heliopause, a gentle border, not drawn in ink, but in energy. Here, solar winds meet cosmic winds, and the balance is soft, delicate. Beyond this, the stars begin again, but you stay for a moment, not to look back, to feel how far you've come. From Mercury's quicksilver hum to Neptune's deep winds, you've walked the entire garden. Each planet a personality, each orbit a rhythm, each moment a breath in this dream of light and motion. The sun is far behind now, just another star among many, but its warmth still lives in you, in your thoughts, in your bones. In the quiet orbit of your heart, you take one last look at the garden, not with longing, but with love, and begin to wonder what lies beyond. The solar garden is not enclosed. It stretches, spills outward, into the Oort cloud, a distant, icy halo. You step gently into it. Here, comets sleep. They orbit in shadows, far from light, quiet, untouched, waiting. Some have never approached the sun. Others have passed it, then returned to this dark cradle. Their paths are long, thousands, even millions of years. And yet, they remember. A sliver of sunlight once warmed them. A whisper of gravity once nudged them. And now, they drift, like forgotten dreams. Not lost, just slow. You walk among them, each one a time capsule. Each one carrying water, carbon, ice, The ingredients of life, they are not barren. They are generous. And one day, when the time is right, one may fall inward again, drawn by gravity, melted by sunlight, brightened into a tale. A reminder that even in deep sleep, movement begins. That even from the farthest dark, a return is always possible. And maybe that's what this garden teaches most. That nothing is ever truly far, only waiting. You pause once more in this distant twilight. Behind you, the planets spin in their quiet loops. Before you, stars sparkle like invitations. And you, small but certain, exist between a bridge, a witness, a traveler, not lost but found in motion. The solar garden, you realize, is not just out there, it's inside you. Each orbit echoes your rhythms. Each rotation mimics your cycles. You wake and sleep. You turn and grow. You return and begin again. You are not separate from the system. You are shaped by it. Your bones hold the same elements as the planets. Your breath moves like wind through atmospheres. Your thoughts orbit memories, dreams, hopes, like moons circling emotion. And in this dream, you are both gardener and seed, both walker and path. The sun does not command, it invites. The planets do not resist, they respond. And so do you, softly, naturally, without effort. You belong here, among the gravity and glow, among the ancient dance of spheres and silence. You are part of the garden, and it remembers you. The path curves one last time. You follow it, not with your feet, but with your thoughts. It's drifting now, floating more than walking. 'Cause this garden isn't bound by soil or fence or season. It's written in motion, in balance, in return. Every planet you've passed will come back to where it began. Not exactly, but close enough to remember, And so will you. Every dream leads home eventually. Every orbit carries its sleeper back around. The stars overhead do not demand speed. They encourage patience. They teach timing, that it's okay to be slow, to take years, to pause, to drift, to bloom late, to wander, because wandering is still motion, still purpose, still path. And in this quiet solar garden, there is no race, only return, only rhythm, only rest. So you lie down now, not on grass or stone, but on the soft curve of understanding. The realization that everything is turning, and you, gentle, dreaming, stardust being, are turning too. From your resting place, you gaze upward, not with eyes, but with awareness. You feel the pull of every orbit, the whisper of gravitational threads weaving through the dark. This garden, for all its vastness, is gentle. No part is forgotten, no motion wasted. Even the smallest dust in Saturn's rings, the faintest comet in the Oort cloud, each has a place, each is known, and so are you. You, with your questions, with your fatigue, with your longing to understand, and your right to rest. You are not outside this system. You are made of it. The sunlight that warms Earth warmed your skin. The gravity that holds Jupiter holds you. The chemistry of Mars echoes in your blood. You are stardust, yes, but also planet dust, moon dust, the dust of everything that orbits and spins and breathes across the solar space, And as you fall deeper into sleep, you fall inward, too, toward your own center, your own orbit, your own calm revolution, always returning, always home. Somewhere, a comet begins to move, not quickly, but surely. Drawn by the sun's soft pull, it begins its long descent. It may take hundreds of years, but it moves now, awakened. That's how motion begins in the solar garden, not with force, but with invitation. And maybe that's how your own motion begins too, with rest, with stillness, with dreams. This walk through the solar garden is not over. It continues in your sleep, in your thoughts, in your breath. You carry the orbits with you now. Their rhythm echoes in your pulse. Their light flickers in your memory. You have seen planets and shadows and rings and winds. You have stood on the threshold of stars. And now, as sleep deepens, you return to your own orbit, to the gravity of your being, to the center of your own calm universe. Let it hold you. Let it spin slowly. Let the planets pass like thoughts. Let the garden bloom again tomorrow. For now, rest. You're home, and all is turning. Time does not tick. It breathes. It stretches like skin warmed by sun, like silence between heartbeats. And tonight, you enter it, not with urgency, but with listening. You are not chasing clocks. You are sensing rhythm. Because time, as you've been taught, is not just seconds. It is space, texture, change. And in this soft hour, you begin to feel it differently. Time is the distance between stars, the space between pulses, the curve in a planet's path. And you, small, present, infinite, are part of that language. You walk slowly now through time's dimension, not forward, not back, but through, like mist, like water, like thought. You pass memories like lanterns. You touch futures like fog. Everything lives here, not just what happened, but what could. And as you drift deeper, the minutes dissolve. There is only now, and now is vast. It contains all that has ever been, and all that waits. And in this stillness, time is no longer measured. It is felt. Time lives in your body, in the stretch of your limbs as you wake, in the slowing of your breath as you fall asleep. It ticks, not in machines, but in you. Your heart marks seconds. Your cells count cycles. Your dreams unfold in slow waves. And just like planets orbiting suns, your body keeps time without clocks. You are a living rhythm, a measure of change. You carry circadian rhythms, the soft pulses that guide when to rest, when to rise. Your organs have schedules. Your thoughts follow tides. Every blink is a page in time's book. Even now, lying still, you are moving through it. You feel the day dim behind you, the quiet fold of night ahead, and somewhere inside, something shifts. You are no longer in today. You are slipping into the between, where minutes grow longer, where hours forget to keep track, where sleep welcomes you as gently as starlight slipping through a curtain. Time is not leaving you, it is becoming you. Time moves differently depending on where you are, not metaphorically, literally. Near a mountain, it passes slower than at sea. Near a star, it stretches, leans, bends like willow branches in warm wind. Einstein told us this, that time and space are woven together, a fabric, not rigid, but soft, and you lying here are cradled in that fabric. Every motion, every breath leaves a small crease. Your body presses gently against the weave of the universe, and the universe responds. Round black holes. Time slows almost to stillness. Light curls. Moments lengthen. You could spend an hour near a black hole, and the universe would race ahead by years. Time, you see, is not fixed. It flows. It bends. And it waits. Sometimes for gravity. Sometimes for memory. And sometimes, like now, for sleep. Tonight, you don't have to hurry. You don't have to catch up. Time is already here. It's holding its breath with you. It's quietly waiting. There's another kind of time, the one that flows backwards in your thoughts. The way a scent can take you years into the past. The way a voice can stir a childhood morning. This is memory time, not measured by clocks, but by meaning. You walk its corridors without effort. A hallway of shadows and golden light. Your first steps, your first laugh, The first time you felt the world was big and you were small, but still part of it. Those moments didn't vanish. They folded inward, like notes tucked into the pages of a book you still carry. Time doesn't erase, it layers, one moment resting softly on another. Your life, a palimpsest of presence, memory, joins you in rest, not to disturb, but to remind that even the past still breathes, that even what is gone still glows. And maybe dreams are how time reaches back to say, I remember too. And you were never alone. We often think of time as a line, one direction, one path, but the universe doesn't always agree. In the quantum world, the world of the very small time becomes fog. So particles can go forward or backward, or neither. They exist in possibilities, not certainties. It's not chaos. It's a kind of music, notes played before they're heard. It's questions asked and answered at once. You, your atoms, have danced that dance. You carry quantum memory. You were built by uncertainty, by options explored before choosing. And maybe that's why sleep is so strange. Because in dreams, time forgets to be linear. You jump from past to future. You speak with people no longer here. You hear songs never written. Time in dreams becomes circular, layered, poetic, like a tide that rises in all directions. You drift into that ocean now. No compass, no clock. It's currents of thought and the gentle waves of becoming. Entropy is time's quiet whisper. It doesn't shout. It simply leans gently in one direction, toward disorder, toward spreading. A cup shatters, heat cools, memory fades. This is the thermodynamic arrow of time, and it isn't cruel, it's just true. Things move from order to openness, from form to flow. And even this, somehow, is beautiful. The way ice melts into water. The way clouds scatter into rain. The way stars burn and fade, returning their elements to space. You are part of this rhythm. You inhale, you exhale, you grow, you rest. Change doesn't mean loss. It means continuation. It means time doing what it must, unfolding. So tonight, as you let go, know this: you are not falling apart. You are flowing forward. This everything does. Softly, surely, with every breath, you follow entropy's lullaby, not into darkness, but into transformation, into what's next, whatever shape it may take. There is another time, deep time, not human, not even planetary, but cosmic. It moves so slowly, you can't see it, only sense its echo, the time of mountains rising, of continents drifting, of stars being born in the belly of galaxies. It's the time of fossils and canyons, of ice ages and extinction and rebirth. This time doesn't hurry. It never has. It breathes once every million years, and yet you were part of it. You are a chapter in Earth's long unfolding story. The calcium in your bones once floated in oceans. The iron in your blood once burned in stars. You are not outside of time. You are time, condensed, awake, listening, and when you sleep, you return to that slower rhythm, the pulse beneath language, the pace beneath breath. You become soft geology, shaped by rest, eroded by dreams, patient, timeless, and infinitely becoming. Not all time is measured in years. Some is felt in the pause between words, the stillness before thunder, the quiet between thoughts. These are the moments we rarely notice, but they hold the weight of everything. A sigh, a held breath, a single heartbeat in the dark. This is sacred time. Thin, delicate, shimmering. It's when you realize something, when you let go of something else. It's when time is not counted, but known. And you felt it before. In the hush of snowfall. In the hush between laughter and tears. in the pause before someone says your name, and now in the space before sleep. This is where you are, not behind or ahead, but within. And in this pause, the world softens, edges blur, thoughts loosen, and the clock fades into background hum. You're not losing time, you're entering it fully, and it welcomes you like water welcomes light. You begin to see time not as something you pass through, but as something that flows through you. Like wind through leaves, like water through stone. You are a vessel. Time moves in waves. Some waves are long, years, decades, lifetimes. Others are small seconds, glances, whispers. Each one leaves a trace, a pattern, a rhythm, and your life is the song they create. Not a melody written in advance, but one improvised, played gently, pauses with silence, and beauty in its unpredictability. You don't have to control the tempo. You don't have to hold on to every note. You just have to listen, to feel, to allow time to move through you the way rivers move through valleys, shaping, softening, making space. That is what you are doing now. It's making space for rest, for quiet, for the next verse to begin tomorrow. But for now, simply let time pass and let yourself drift with it. Sleep is not the absence of time. It is its own dimension, a different kind of clock, where minutes stretch, where seconds dissolve, where your thoughts begin to speak a language that only dreams understand. You are no longer bound by morning or night. You are floating in a sea of inward rhythms. Here, time is made of images, of symbols, of stories that fold into each other. One moment, you are walking through a forest of stars. The next, you are holding a memory with both hands. This is the dream time. It doesn't follow logic. It follows emotion, desire, wonder. It bends like moonlight across still water. And tonight, you enter that realm like a diver slipping below the surface, not falling, just descending, into a world made not of minutes, but meaning. Time becomes fluid here, and you liquid, free to flow in all directions. Free, too. Remember who you are beneath the hours. In dreams, time loses its boundaries. You are not late. You are not early. You simply are. There's no calendar here, no agenda, only experience, Moments arrive like waves, unexpected, soft, and full of meaning. You might find yourself in places you've never been, speaking to people you've never met or haven't seen in years, but it feels real, because it is real in the language of dreams. Dreams carry messages across time, wisdom from the past, hopes from the future. Fragments of stories your conscious mind forgot, but your heart remembered. In this space, you don't just rest, you heal. Your brain repairs, your spirit wanders. Your body recovers its rhythm, and the clock slows to the pace of your soul. There is no rush here, only unfolding, only breath, and the quiet certainty that you are exactly where you need to be, held, understood, timeless. And yet, even here, time continues to move. You can't feel it the way you do in waking life, but it moves, gently, like tide beneath ice. Your body still turns with the planet. Your breath still joins the rhythm of air. Your dreams shift with each heartbeat, and slowly, imperceptibly, the world changes around you. The stars overhead move a fraction. The earth tilts a sliver. Time does not stop, but it doesn't demand anything either. It just is, and you, peaceful, dreaming, still move with it. You are carried, not by effort, but by belonging. There's nothing you must do right now. No task to complete. No hour to chase. Only presence, only breath. Only the quiet movement forward, like starlight, traveling. Light years in silence, certain it will arrive. And so will you. not all at once, but steadily, each night, each dream, each rest, a step into time's unfolding. Even the universe has a clock, a cosmic timeline written not in seconds, but in events. The first light, the birth of stars, the rise of galaxies, the quiet spreading of dark energy, stretching space like slow breath. We call it cosmic time. And by that clock, you are very new, yet you belong. Because the moment you were born, you began ticking in harmony with the cosmos, a pulse, aligned with the universal rhythm. And though the scale is vast, the feeling is close. When you breathe deeply, you echo the expansion of the universe. When you rest, you align with the stillness between cosmic notes. You are a participant in time, not just a passenger. The stars, distant though they seem, keep pace with you. Their light has taken eons to reach your eyes, but it arrives exactly now. Not a second too soon, not a blink too late, but it's time's promise, perfect arrival. Gravity doesn't speak in words, it sings softly, a lullaby without melody, yet one you felt your whole life. It holds you, not tightly, but steadily. It's a weight beneath your feet, the pull in your bones. That's gravity humming, not pushing, not dragging, just inviting you downward, gently, as if Earth were whispering, stay. Tonight, you begin here, not floating, but grounded. You feel your bed beneath you, the softness of your body sinking into stillness, the curve of your spine adjusting to rest. That is gravity, your first companion, your constant cradle. Held you before you could stand. It holds you now, even as you drift toward sleep. And it holds the stars too, and the planets and galaxies. It doesn't change what is, it connects it. Gravity is not force alone, it is relationship, a thread spun between all things, okay? And in this thread, you rest, anchored, aligned, safe, still home. Gravity is not loud, it is not sudden. It is a patient hand resting on your shoulder, a reminder that you belong here, on Earth, in this bed, in this moment. You don't notice it when you walk, but it's always guiding your steps. You don't feel it pulling at the oceans, but tides rise and fall because of it. The moon listens to gravity, and so do you. You are a listener of forces, too gentle to name. The curve of your spine as you curl into comfort, the weight of your blanket against your chest, the way your breath settles when you finally let go. These are not accidents. They are gravity's lullaby, stuck, not in words, but in weight, in return, in stillness. And tonight, gravity asks nothing of you, only that you rest, only that you stay. Because even the stars are resting, held in orbits, singing in silence. And now, so are you. Okay. Gravity is not just a pull downward. It's a relationship between you and Earth, between Earth and the moon, between the sun and every planet that dances around it. It's a conversation that never ends, even when you're asleep. Right now, as you lie still, gravity is holding you in that conversation. Your body presses gently into the mattress, and the mattress responds. That is gravity. You don't need to understand the math to understand the feeling, the safety, the certainty. That no matter how far you drift in thought, you are anchored. You are not falling. You are being held. And this connection is not small. It is cosmic. Every planet in the solar system is moving in curved paths, pulled into place by gravity. Not straight lines, but graceful arcs, like brushstrokes on dark canvas. And you, too, are part of that arc. A small curve in a great story of being. Have you ever watched something fall? Not just drop, but fall. It's like a leaf spiraling through the air or a raindrop sliding down glass. It's not just movement, it's surrender. Slow, elegant, giving in to gravity's invitation. Nothing resists it forever. Not stars, not rivers, not you. and there's peace in that. In knowing that letting go doesn't mean being lost. It means finding your place again. Falling asleep is just another kind of falling into comfort, into rhythm, into the arms of something older than thought. Gravity was here before life, before light, and still it sings through galaxies, through atoms, through you. And tonight, it sings just for you. Its song has no sound, but you feel it in your chest, in the steady tug behind your eyelids, in the warmth pooling beneath your skin. This is not emptiness. This is arrival. You are not drifting away. You are drifting home. Long ago, we thought gravity was simple, just a force, an invisible hand pulling things down. But then came Einstein, and he showed us that gravity is more like a curve, a bend in space, a dip in the fabric of the universe where mass lies. Imagine placing a marble on a soft blanket, then placing your hand in the middle of that blanket. The marble rolls toward your hand, not because it was pulled, but because space itself was bent. This is what gravity truly is, the shape of space around you and how you move through it. You are not being pulled down. You are following the curve. Even now, lying still, you are rolling gently across a cosmic slope, not falling, just flowing. Can the earth too moves like this, gently arcing around the sun, not held on a string, but dancing in curved space, graceful, silent, perfectly balanced. Even black holes, the most mysterious of objects, are born from gravity's touch, not from chaos, but from too much mass folding inward. A star, once burning bright, runs out of fuel. It can't hold its weight, and so it collapses, not with violence, but inevitability. It becomes a point where space curves so deeply that not even light can escape. But even here, there is still order, still rhythm, still gravity's voice. A black hole does not destroy space. It reshapes it. It holds its surroundings in a silent embrace. Stars orbit it like dancers, circling a quiet center. You are not near a black hole, but you carry its story. It's toward stillness, toward depth, toward silence. It is not something to fear. It is gravity in its most profound form. It's teaching us that even the deepest darkness can be calm, can be beautiful, can be part of the balance. Without gravity, there would be no stars, no planets, no you. Gas clouds floating in space would never gather, never collapse, never ignite into fire. Gravity gives birth to stars. It holds them close. It decides when they live and when they end. And when they end, it's gravity that gathers their remnants and begins again. You are made from these stories, from dust pulled into stars, from stars that exploded, from particles that found one another across the emptiness, all because of gravity. So the gravity you feel right now as you lie still is ancient. It is the same force that gathered galaxies, that pulled atoms together in the dark, sculpted the earth and placed you upon it. It is not abstract. It is personal. It is the gentle tug that says stay, stay a while, stay here, stay safe, and sleep in the arms of the cosmos. On Earth, gravity does more than keep your feet on the ground. It shapes the oceans. It lifts tides. The moon pulls on the sea, and the sea responds with waves that dance to gravity's rhythm. And so do you. Your body is mostly water, and gravity moves it too. When you stretch, gravity flows through your spine. When you breathe deeply, your lungs expand and fall with its guidance. Even your dreams are carried on its gentle weight. There's a reason we say grounded when we feel calm. It's not just a feeling, it's a physical truth. You are connected to this planet, to its center, its core. Gravity threads that connection without ever being seen. And tonight, as the moon rises beyond your window, its soft influence reaches through sky and stone. into water, into tides, into you, calling everything gently toward rest, including your mind. The earth itself listens to gravity. It sings in the form of vibrations, tiny shifts, subtle movements beneath your feet, seismic waves that travel through rock, whispers through stone. And though you cannot hear them, there are always there soft reminders of motion beneath stillness. Gravity speaks in those pulses. It keeps the earth's center warm. It balances the crust and core in gentle tension. Even mountains, strong, ancient, unmoving, are shaped by it, built upward, worn down, and built again. You are like that, too, shaped slowly by the steady presence of what holds you. It's not forced, not hurried, but sculpted with patience, with repetition, with kindness. And tonight, as your body melts deeper into rest, gravity is doing its quiet work, tuning your bones to softness, inviting your thoughts to quiet, and rocking you with a rhythm older than wind, older than light. The rhythm of being held. There's a reason why you feel heavier when you're tired. It's not just exhaustion, it's gravity, becoming more noticeable as you surrender. Your muscles let go. Your spine unwinds, and gravity greets every inch of you like a welcome guest returning home. This is not weakness. This is trust. To let your body rest, to be held by the earth, to stop reaching and simply be. Even your eyelids know this language. They fall slowly, heavily, not forced, but invited. You aren't falling asleep. You're settling into place, like a pebble, finding its hollow in a riverbed, like a star curling into the arm of a galaxy. Your shape fits the world tonight. You were always meant to be here. This exact weight, this exact warmth, this moment brought to stillness, not by effort, but by gravity's lullaby, sung just for you, low, steady, true. Not all things that fall are broken. Some fall into place. A feather finds the ground. A child finds its parents' arms. You are finding your way now, not by moving, but by allowing. This is the lesson gravity teaches again and again. Let go. Be held. You don't have to push. You don't have to fight the pull. You are part of something gentle and vast. Something that never stops paying attention. If you wandered to the edge of the universe, gravity would still know where you were, still hold you in its map, still whisper your name through space and time. That is how constant it is, how devoted. Gravity remembers every motion, every orbit, every moment. And it remembers you now, in this quiet, as you rest, as you breathe, as you return, slowly, to the center of everything, exactly where you've always belonged. And so, gravity stays with you, even in your dreams. You may not feel it there, but it's present in the landscapes you wander, in the footsteps that echo, in the way you float, but never drift too far. Dreams obey their own physics, but gravity hums beneath them like a bass note beneath a lullaby, keeping the melody whole, keeping you connected. Even when you dream of flying, even when you soar, return, always, not because you're limited, but because you're loved. To return is not to be trapped. It is to be remembered. It is to know your place, not as a boundary, but a home. The earth does not hold you out of need. It holds you out of welcome. And tonight, it welcomes you with arms invisible but sure. Sleep now and feel that pull, that grounding, steady, a certain hush of being exactly where you need to be. Sometimes, the softest truths are the most powerful. Gravity has no voice, but it speaks to everything. It asks planets to orbit. It asks oceans to rise. It asks you to rest. It never yells. It never rushes. It simply waits. And the world listens. So can you. Listen now, not with ears, but with stillness. Feel the pull behind your breath, the weight beneath your chest, the comfort of your body sinking into place. You are not being dragged. You are being aligned. It's held exactly where you are most meant to be. All of nature trusts gravity. The trees grow toward the sky, but root downward. The rivers chase gravity's call without complaint. In your heart, it beats not despite gravity, but because of it. Because pressure creates rhythm, and rhythm creates peace. So let go. Let gravity write the last word tonight. And let that word be rest. There is so much you do not see, but it doesn't mean it isn't there. Like breath in winter, made visible only in the cold, or love felt before it's ever said. The universe is full of things like this, hidden, quiet, shaping everything. And tonight, we begin to search for them, not with our eyes, but with our awareness. You lie still, but your mind floats gently outward, beyond what light touches, into the map of the invisible. Okay? Most of the cosmos is made of things we cannot see. Dark matter, dark energy, things we've given two shadows to explain the way galaxies move. It's not fiction, it's science. Subtle, elegant, unknown. Dark matter is the glue that holds galaxies together. It doesn't shine, doesn't reflect, but it's there. Quisi, it's footprints in the stars that move too fast, as if pulled by unseen hands. And now you're floating between those hands, felt, even in stillness. Dark matter isn't dark because it's bad. It's dark because it doesn't speak our language of light. It does not glow. It does not shout its presence, but it's here, steady as a breath. Imagine holding a paper in the wind. You don't see the wind, but the paper moves. Dark matter moves galaxies like that. Silent, certain, fiercely gentle. You are drifting near it now, not touching, but surrounded. Your body, too, responds to invisible things, feelings, memories, the deep pool of sleep. So why should the universe be any different? Not everything that matters is visible. Some truths whisper. Some truths hide, not to deceive, but to invite, to ask you to feel, not just see. And as you rest, you're part of this hidden dance, not separate from the cosmos, but stitched into it. Visible threads, binding, balancing, beckoning you to keep listening. But dark matter is only half the mystery. There is something even stranger, something that isn't holding the universe together, but pushing it apart. We call it dark energy, a soft expansion, spreading space itself. It's not an explosion. It's not a shout. It's a gentle drift, a deep exhale from the lungs of the cosmos. The galaxies are not just sitting still. They're moving away from each other, faster and faster, as if space is stretching like a soft balloon. Dark energy is that stretch. It fills the universe, but we don't know what it is. We know only its effect, the way it asks everything to move. Even silence travels because of it. And maybe you do too. Not by effort, not by will, but by openness. You expand as the universe expands. Your dreams stretch with it into stars unseen and questions unasked. This is the invisible in motion. You've spent your whole life seeing, looking at faces, watching clocks, reading signs. But there's a deeper way of knowing, of sensing what lies beneath appearance. The invisible universe teaches you this, that what truly matters is often hidden, not secret, but sacred. Just like gravity, dark matter and dark energy don't show themselves, but they shape everything. And so do the quiet parts of you, your compassion, your memories, the way you comfort someone without saying a word. These are your invisible forces, and they matter. Okay. Tonight, as you rest, you join the map of the unseen. You breathe with galaxies. You sleep beside particles that haven't yet been discovered. And still, you are not lost. Because in this universe, Visibility is not the only path to truth. Some things are proven by feeling, some are traced by faith, and some, like you, are found in stillness. The map of the invisible is not drawn with lines. It's written in motion, in gravity, in expansion, in presence. Astronomers don't photograph dark matter or energy. They watch how galaxies move, how light bends around nothing. They see the shape of absence and know something is there. You too can feel presence in absence. It's the way you miss someone who is gone. The warmth you feel when you remember a moment long past. It's the comfort that comes not from what you see, but from what you know. That's what this chapter is about, a knowing beyond sight. Okay, a map made not of streets or stars, but of patterns, connections, trust. Even your breath right now is part of this invisible truth. You're not thinking about breathing, but you breathe. That is faith. That is science. That is the universe reminding you. You are held, even when you cannot see the hands. Some maps are drawn in ink, others in memory. It's one, the invisible. One is drawn in gravity and light, in pull and pause. The way galaxies hold their shape without visible mass. That's a mark on the map. The way light bends around nothing, creating a cosmic mirage. That's another. We call it gravitational lensing. Light traveling through space is bent, not by objects we can see, but by things hidden. And in that bend, we learn. We trace the shape of dark matter, not by touching it, but by following its echo. It's like listening to the shape of a canyon by the sound of your own voice. You are not so different. Your path is often lit by reflection, by what returns. And tonight, as light curves quietly around unseen truths, so does your heart, navigating a life guided by things you feel more than know. There is comfort in knowing that the universe holds more than it shows, that the visible is only the surface, beneath it, wonder. We used to believe that what we saw was all that existed, but the stars told us otherwise. They moved as if dancing to music we couldn't hear. They spun too fast to be held by visible matter alone. Something else was guiding them, something unseen. And so we listened harder. We watched longer. We trusted the questions. You are invited to do the same. In your own life, not everything is revealed, but that doesn't mean it lacks meaning. Your sadness, your joy, the quiet thoughts before sleep, they all move through the invisible map of your soul. And tonight, the cosmos mirrors you, filled with light in the unseen fabric that gives it shape. Not everything needs to be seen to be real. Some truths live in quiet gravity. Your body understands this map. It listens to invisible forces every day. When your heart beats faster, in a moment of fear. When your breath slows, in a moment of peace. These are signals, not from outside, but from within. Gravity doesn't just act on stars. It acts on you. And not just downward. It pulls you toward what matters, toward people, toward rest, toward meaning. The invisible is not distant. It is intimate. It lives in your senses, in your intuition, in the warmth of your skin as you lie still and let go. So, when you feel uncertain, when life doesn't make sense, remember this chapter. Remember that galaxies themselves move to the rhythm of something hidden, and so do you. That movement is real, even if you can't always explain it. You are part of the same unseen fabric. You belong to the same vast hush. You are not required to solve the universe tonight, only to rest inside it. The stars have waited billions of years for you to see them, and they do not hurry, so neither should you. The invisible map doesn't ask for speed, it asks for softness, stillness, trust. You do not need to chase the mysteries of space, okay? They come to you gently as you lie in the dark. Dark, not as emptiness, but as potential, a canvas for stars, a cradle for thoughts. a space where all things unseen come into being. This is where you float now, in the deep quiet of things yet to be known, and yet you are not alone. Dark matter, dark energy, they surround you like breath, like warmth, like memory. They do not need to be named to be near. Already here, and so are you. Some things are invisible, not because they're far away, but because they are too close, like the rhythm of your heartbeat, or the presence of air, or the quiet wisdom that lives in your chest. Dark energy is like this, not out there, but around you, through you. It pushes space outward, but also reminds you of your own expansion. You grow every day in ways no one can see, in strength, in stillness, in kindness. And that growth too is part of the invisible map. No telescope can capture it, but it's real. Just like the unseen lines that connect one star to another in a constellation. We make patterns in the sky to understand, and the universe makes patterns through you. Your rest is one of them. A soft curve in the dark, an orbit of peace, drawn with invisible ink, glowing only when you close your eyes. The universe does not rush your understanding. It gives you time, time to wonder, time to rest, time to dream of things you cannot yet explain. That's part of the invisible, too, possibility. Just like space expands, so does your capacity to feel, to imagine, to love. And like dark matter, that expansion holds things together. The quiet care between people, the patience in your breath, the memories that soften with time. These are not accidents. They are part of the design, an unseen architecture. Like a cathedral made of gravity and hope. And tonight, you are lying beneath that sky. No walls, no roof, just space and stillness. The silent assurance that you are within the map, even if you cannot see the lines, because the lines are not drawn on paper. They're drawn in presence, in sleep, in surrender. And now, gently, you begin to cross them. What holds the stars in their place is not noise. It is not fire. It is gravity, a quiet pull. When what holds you tonight is just as gentle, the tug of sleep, the hush of understanding, the warmth of knowing you don't have to know it all. You are allowed to drift, to be guided, the same way a planet follows its orbit. Not because it chooses every step, but because the path is already drawn. And now, yours is too. Tonight's journey doesn't need directions. It only needs trust. You are floating through invisible highways, carried by things too vast to grasp and too kind to rush you. You are not falling. You are being led toward softness, toward quiet, toward a place you've always belonged. Place written into the dark by the same forces that shaped stars and named them, not with light, but with love. Love, too, is invisible, but you know it by what it shapes. By the way someone says your name, by the quiet that feels full instead of empty, by the calm that settles without reason. That is how the universe holds you now, not with hands, not with proof, but with patterns, visible and sure. Dark matter is not seen, but its presence steadies galaxies, and love is not seen, but its presence steadies you. Even in this moment, even in sleep. What you feel is not weakness, it's connection. And connection, like dark energy, moves the world. It pushes us outward and draws us inward, at once expanding and embracing. So let yourself be both, vast and held, known and still growing. You don't need to name every force that carries you. Just notice how gently you're being carried. The map of the invisible has always included you. Now, you begin to feel where you belong. So this is where the story ends. Not in a bang, not in a final line, but in a breath. The invisible, always here, now wraps around you like night air. Soft, patient, full of meaning. You have traveled far, not in miles, but in thought, from atoms to stars, from light to gravity, from the visible to the quiet forces that hold it all together. And now you know, the universe doesn't need to be loud to be profound. It doesn't need to be seen to be known. And you don't need to understand everything to be part of it. You already are. You always were. Your body, a map. Your breath, a galaxy. Your dreams, born of dark matter and wonder. So sleep now. Let the unseen finish the journey. You've seen enough, felt enough, been enough. Okay? In this moment, wrapped in the map of the invisible, you rest home.